Practical Principles. This is Practical Prince. We're doing talk and tarot. So go ahead and drop your questions in. We'll just do as many as we can within the next little bit. And yeah, I'll go ahead and shuffle decks while we're waiting. Prep them up a bit. Hope your day's going well. And hopefully you enjoy this session. I think I'll take my glasses off. If I need them, I'll put them back on. Slow day today. I guess I can go ahead and make announcements about schedule. I should probably, yeah. So Friday, we're going to have to keep it to a very fixed hour, maybe even less, just to be safe. But so that's going to be a shorter session than usual. Monday's going to be out, just with the work schedule. I'm not going to be able to fit in enough time to really make it worth a session. So if you've got ideas on what I should do instead, let me know. I've been thinking of just doing a post and, well, following up later when I can for whoever responds with a reading. So that's one thing I'm thinking about. And I'll need to set that up, but yeah. So let's flex that back a bit. Okay. So yeah, that's what's happening on the schedule front. And we'll just see how that goes. So yeah, Wednesday is definitely going to be the best night, or at least it'll be our longer session. Friday will be a short session. And then Monday will just be virtual, and I'll just follow up when I can. So, and I don't know if we can really even say that's virtual. I mean, because these are already virtual. It's just me responding to a post, so we're following up on posts. So, tentatively, we can try doing that. Although, who knows? Now that I've got a job, maybe I'll need more time just for live. We'll see. So yeah, everything there is up to date, shuffled. I guess I could, well, I hate doing readings for myself when I don't really have questions. So I'm not too keen on general. I mean, it's okay, but I feel like you should be in more of a wandering state, and I'm not really in that. So we could try spreads for fun. Or I guess I could follow up on... I don't think anybody actually sent me anything. Yeah. So yeah, bit at a loss. I mean, we could go through the virtual guide, through the spreads that has, or through the spreads in my physical guides here. We could try making one, I guess, with the spread machine, Spread Oracle, or no, Spread Weaver. That's what the new name is. But yeah, that's kind of beside the point when we're hoping to just do readings for you. So guess I'll just have to figure out a better way of monologuing. Hopefully getting a couple more decks from Lisa Santine soon. They've been stalled up in port, so just waiting to be unloaded. But yeah, so that'll still be a while off. Yep. So that's where we're at. I guess I could look into like, I don't know, horoscope readings or readings for those who find them. That sort of stuff just feels off for me. I mean, maybe there's some truth to it, but I feel like when I can work at the level of the individual, isn't that going to be a better read anyways? Because we are unique. So yeah. And then just, yeah. So yeah, not much else to say. We've now got our camera. We can show cards when we're putting spreads together and whatnot. So I'll go ahead and make that the big one. Let's see where our field is today. Okay. So we've got a fair amount of space to work. There we go. Yeah. So that's good. That's new. Somebody donated, so I was able to get that. Not going to be able to brand the stream for a while, just because that's far more expensive, and well, it's not like we're making money, so that'll be a while. But it'd be cool to have a background like our, gosh, what would you call that? It's not a logo, but the banner, I guess. Having pink clouds that actually move and whatnot for our background, that'd be kind of fun. We can go ahead and hide this again. I'm not aware of any technical issues, so I think we should still be streaming to everywhere. So I'm a little surprised no one's hopped on yet. Makes me wonder if I should be checking for issues. Or maybe because I'm, unbeknownst to me, super popular. There's just so many people trying to comment and whatnot that it's the system can't handle it or something, but that doesn't seem likely. I mean, they give me a view count. It looks like we've only got 2 people, maybe. So, hey, Presh, how's it going? Good to see that Facebook is still working. Okay, yeah. So we've got our usual platforms. You up for any particular reason? And I guess, are you up early or up really late? I'm sorry. Pretty good. First day of work today. Not that I can do much until I get fully set up and learn more about the projects and whatnot, but yeah, it's going well. So can't complain too much. And now I get to talk with you, maybe do readings. We'll see. Well, I like to think it will be. Um, I guess, what do you mean by spirit reading? Because people will talk in terms that I'm not familiar with or don't, in my own personal beliefs, believe in, but that doesn't stop me from being able to do a reading. But I'm just not familiar with what this would be about. Okay. Oh, so is this for whether or not there's spirits in it, in the house? Okay. Um, and I guess really, because we could check simply if there's spirits in there. I mean, that's just a yes no as far as I can tell. Unless you're wanting to know like the quality of the spirits, or maybe just like, are there any negative spirits in the house or something like that? Because I assume if there's good ones, that shouldn't matter much, unless you don't care for any influences other than your own. Okay. Yeah, I had one person ask me about um, reading on a house. It wasn't exactly on spirits. It was just, yeah. forward to the house. Let's see. We'll go ahead and highlight this one for reference. And we can show that kind of sticks. Oh, do we not have as much space? No, it's still a fair amount of space. Yeah, okay. It just gets close at the top. Okay. So, are there negative spirits? Okay. Okay. And you have the particular house in mind, so that's fine. Okay. Okay, do we have extra information? Okay. So these two have extra information. The set giving us our yes/no as to whether or not there are negative spirits. Eight of Chalices, Strength, and the Hanged Man. So this would indicate no. I mean, this would be a no, this would be a neutral, this would be a yes. But when you get a muddy answer like that, the guide I reference at least says that the answer would be no. Then we've got these two, which is probably just speaking to your situation, needing to take in strength and just press on till you get out of the fog. So let me know if you want me to like read the guide for those specific ones, but that's basically what it's saying. Okay. Yeah, no negative spirits. So you're good there. Okay. Let me go ahead and there we go. Okay. You too. Take care. Okay. And we'll call that good. Okay. So now, I guess, gosh, I'd rather do readings, but you need questions first and some sincerity. So I don't know that there's much to do other than hang around till people chat or ask questions. You can look at spreads, I guess, but I don't know that I'll actually do any of them. 3-card spread, a few versions of how to interpret it, just based off of the nature of the question. Celtic Cross. So that has the numbers right. The digital guide also has that. I've only had one person request that. I usually just do the cards in whatever way makes sense, or however they come out, really. Past life spread. And then same vision, or well, 3-card Celtic. And then we've got Mirror Arc and Life Map. I think I played with those ones. And then we've got the big Visions regression. So that one's huge. I did that one once for fun too, but it fills up the whole table. So given that I don't get to use the whole table with how much we can see with the camera, I'm going to avoid soliciting that. The digital guide has a few spreads. And since it's digital, we can go ahead and share. So this is the yes/no I generally reference. So there's your Hanged Man, and then the 8 of Cups. Another 3-card spread. Variation thereof. Love decision. What are my choices and how do I choose? And this has a focus. A lot of these next ones have focuses. So this one has Wheel of Fortune. This one has Chariot. This one has Empress. And then we get the more traditional Celtic Cross. And here, these are all card 7, but I think we decided to go from bottom to top. 7, 8, 9, 10. And then there's the chakra spread. So yeah, and then that gets into the bonus cards that are unique to that deck. Wow. I don't know, we might call it a day because it is awfully slow. I mean, I could play with the spread machine, but maybe. Let's see. I like Quest, but I think Spread Machine Change might be more. These are 2 expansion packs that I'm looking. Oh, I've got a camera. I can just show you guys what I'm looking at. So, these are 2 of the expansions. This one, gamified sort of theme. You'll have hero's journey sort of terms, video game terms, stuff like that. This one's more, shadow work was the big focus for this one. You can do it with the main deck as well, but this one emphasizes that. So, and I think these would both be appropriate. But I think we'll go ahead and do Spread Machine Quest. I feel like we might have someone who needs it, so. And in this case, I'll just go through, find the ones, so don't need those. So, for example, there's hero, and we could be looking for strengths and weaknesses. And so these are what the particular spots in the spread represent. And then we would get a tarot deck and lay cards down and find out, well, what the weakness, what the strength, what's representing you. So that's how Spread Machine, Spread Weaver works. So let's see what stands out. Is that they just keep going? Okay. Maybe side quest. We'll set that down for now. Compass and quest. What else do we have, or do we have everything that we're interested in? I feel like these usually have lots of spaces, but lots of spots for cards, but doesn't mean they can't be more simple. We've got compass, quest, side quest. So main drive, or well, yeah. The important stuff. The clutter, I guess. That's probably the best way to describe the side quest stuff. And then compass. What points you the right way? Yeah, let's go ahead and pull some cards for this. Do we get to use Lost Forest? I think so. This is perhaps my favorite deck. I love the artwork on this one. Okay. Now we're going to find our 3 cards and then figure out what they are. That might be right, might be wrong. Oh. That's just kind of frozen. You're not seeing cards, are you? Oh well. We'll just have to make do until it catches up. I'm not sure that this is relevant to the card itself. Let me set that aside for now. And what else do we have? Seem to be near the bottom. Let's find. Is it the bottom? It's working with this in some way, isn't it? Okay. Let's see what else we've got. Yeah, that's kind of odd that it's not updating. The camera's seeing it, but the desktop isn't. Do we have... Is it skew? Just skew. Okay, we probably have our side quests. And let's check. Do we have all our cards? So is this the compass? Hey, Nicole. How's it going? Yeah, that doesn't seem like it's compass. Let me go ahead and pull that aside. Are these two a pair? Are they equals? Excellent. Okay, so those seem to both be relevant for quest. So do we not have compass and we just have some card? Yeah, this feels more like a hint to the compass than anything else. And our camera still isn't updating, so let me go ahead and kill that for a bit. And if we bring it back, it's still frozen. I wonder why. Let me go ahead and take it out. Yeah, that's just not showing right, is it? Well, that's unfortunate. And if I go from here Is that any better? Nope, not really. That's unfortunate. Let me try refreshing. Maybe that'll fix the problem. Oh, you can see my hand moving? Then maybe it's just it's just my desktop not getting the update. Which is unfortunate because that's what I can see, but all right, snug. Okay, because yeah, for me, it's just looking like a static thing. But if we think it's working, we'll just go ahead and finish this. So this is a hint to our compass, what gets us on track. We've got skewed side quest, so that just means it's offset its normal meaning. Not too drastically different. And then for quest, the long term, well, we got a pair that should work together. Two of Skies and the Emperor. Five of Oceans. And then over here, 8 of Fire. Okay. So renewal is the theme here. The forest has been burned, but makes way for new life, new start from the ashes. Five of Oceans is dealing with sorrow. Let me see if I can get a better sense of offset. Because it is skewed, so it's not quite the usual meaning. Regret, failure, disappointment. This one really only does keywords. It describes the art, but doesn't do much in the way of interpreting it. So let's see. Is it just external instead of... Okay, yeah. It's not necessarily world falling apart or anything like that, but there's a number of disconnects happening in the real world, which you're connected to, so you get affected by, but they're not as direct and personal as the Five of Oceans usually is. Like, this isn't the loss of a loved one. This might be like a business or a product going out, being done. It could be stuff not panning out as expected, like not getting the year-end bonus at work, something like that. Well, even that might be a bit personal. So, well, anyways, I think we get the gist there. Two of Skies and the Emperor. So long term, this person's trying to order themselves. Two of Skies is dealing with choices. And then the Emperor with, authority, control. Those would be the normal things you talk about. But in this case, it's creating processes. So this person is trying to figure out what will work for them and help them forward long term. So yeah. Hey, Luck. How's it going? So yeah, and that's our read using the spread machine. Yeah, the spread weaver as it's called now. And then the Lost Forest deck. Let's see. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle these. If you've got questions, well, I'm here to do reading, so go ahead and ask them. I'm just going to clean up a bit. Well, you're free to peruse and observe if you'd like. It's been a slow evening, though, so I don't know that you'll see much action. that deck is good. And we can go ahead and put these away. So we've got one equipment. Those are the embarks. So we'll just slip those back there. There we go, equipment. And I guess we can go ahead and drop that for now. Don't really have anything to see until we have something to read. So yeah, go ahead and if you want, you can put questions in the, well, chat, I guess it would be called, or the comments, however it shows up on your system. Did we get them all? Okay. Mine just looks a little off. There we go. And maybe I'll just monologue. I mean, various people will do it in different ways. So I know for some readers, they'll want to know your horoscope or something like that, talk about it. Some will say they commune with spirits. Others will simply refer to it as a gift. In me in particular, I follow a Christian tradition. So when I read, I'm using the Holy Ghost to guide me to an answer. And I use the cards because I can get more specific with that than I can just with impressions. So that's the theory for me, at least. I'm sure for a number of supposed tarot readers, it's just random cards, or maybe even a scam if they're nefarious enough. But yeah, and then like there are some spreads that are known, like we'll just grab Prisma. Some things are consistent, but yeah, the reader is going to have their own way of getting the specific interpretation. Like, and gosh, I wish I could actually see. For some reason, my thing's not updating, but let's just say, because a common spread, not that it's very common for me, is a 3-card spread. And so you've got some sort of context, past, background, the current situation, or the person who's asking for the reading, describing them, outcome or future, or an action they should take. That would be one way these cards could be interpreted. So, well, I guess what kind of question would fit that? What should I do about love, or what's going on with love? I guess that would be one way. What's happening in my life, to be more general. In my case, I don't usually use a particular spread. Like this would be called the 3-card spread. Just generally, there's like the Celtic, I can't remember the right pronunciation. Celtic Cross, which uses 10 cards. For the most part, when I do it, I sense which cards are relevant, and then if they have a specific meaning, like past, context, something like that, I'll explain that or go off of that. But sometimes I just need a flip before I know. So yeah, like if we want to go here, we'll just pretend it was a 3-card read. Yeah, you probably have a different understanding than me. I've only used the Celtic Cross once, maybe twice, but I can really only remember once when somebody specifically asked for it. But so, yeah, that's partly how I got into tarot. I like the art on all my decks. Well, there's one deck I don't like, but we don't use that, so that's basically a throwaway at this point. So, Ace of Wands, I would probably have to reference just to be sure. But that's having powerful energy, basically. Eight of Chalices, you're wandering in mist, basically. That the artwork describes that here. Another deck describes this as needing to move on. It's not like a hasty get on with it. It'll be like take your time, but you do need to be moving. So, and then Ace of Chalices, that's good for new beginnings. Love in particular. Chalices, yeah, it can. So, like, for instance, or at least in my case, it does. I'm sure some tarot readers just have the basic meaning memorized or learned. And gosh, well, I mean, this is going to be relevant too. But so, like, here, can we see that? Yes, we can. This is the artwork for Cosmo Visions. It's actually the sister deck to the cards you could just see. So if you see here, this would be called Eight of Lotuses, but it's equivalent to an Eight of Chalices. But here, the keywords are walking away, disillusionment, leaving behind, and then it references the art, but it'll go off of those same things. Yeah. Let me finish up with this. But Tasha, go ahead and ask your question. And then if I flip this around, because this was a 2-in-1, there's your ace. Here's the Eight of Chalices. So confusion, uncertainty, escapism. Yeah, I do. So based off of the different deck, you can get a slightly different reading. I'm sure a lot of people do, and maybe I should, because it's not like I'm paid for this, so it's probably not the wisest use of my time. But yeah, that's what it is. Okay, got your question, Tasha. So yeah, and as far as like this one would go, rush of energy in the past, but now you're not sure what you're doing. You are going to come out of it. There's going to be a new relationship, a new spark in a sense, that gets you going. Yeah. But like, yeah. Anyways, Tasha, let's see, general read. Let me go ahead and highlight that. Sorry, those cards weren't for you. That was just an example for Locke. Don't read into that yet. Sure, Locke. If you've got a specific question, that's preferred. But if you just want something general like Tasha, that's fine too. Okay, let's see. Cosmo? Yeah, that seems like it'll be the most appropriate. Yeah, that'd be fine. Um, yeah, really anything. Generally, if it's more specific, you care about it more and it's easier to get a read on that. But that's not to say that someone who's really lost um, wouldn't benefit equally from just a general read. So it's situational to you, really. Um, but Tasha, general. We'll go back for that one. Okay. Right card, but not super heavy. Yeah, that's crazy there. Let's see. A little heavier. Is that it? Let's see. Okay, so yeah, this is all we've got, and nothing really big. Um, um, Not to say that they're negligible. I said this was light. You'll still see it. Um, this one is medium. Well, once we flip it, we'll be able to figure out how that might come into your life. Reality. So 3 of birds and 7 of birds. Oh, you got it rough. This one has a more favorable interpretation. So these would normally be swords. So 7 of swords, 3 of swords. 7 of swords is normally dealing with deception and betrayal. But this particular deck has a much kinder interpretation of the 7. And then the 3 of birds, I like to call it the reality check. You get hurt, but you're also better for it because it clears away some doubt, some uncertainty. So puts you in a better position to move forward. But so we'll start with the heavier one. 7 of birds. Obstacle, tactics, strategy. Only the brave would dare to cross this treacherous terrain. When this card shows up, it is a puller, for a strategy you must soon devise. Some rocky roads may be approaching, and it is ill-advised to approach haphazardly. Instead, you will need to learn from the birds in order to plan accordingly. Do so, and you will make it to the other side with much ease. A carefully thought-out maneuver will catapult you much further than approaching with haste. So basically, taking time, being thoughtful. I don't know what stuff is coming up in life, what you need to, eventually work towards. But this would suggest some foresight, some thought will save you a lot of effort in the long run. And then 3 of birds. So normally 3 of swords. Heartbreak, suffering, grief. The 3 of birds is a heartbreaking card that sends the mind for a spin. If you are the slain dove, you likely didn't stand a chance. It speaks of an unfair advantage of the opposing party, that for no noticeable payoff other than self-enjoyment. If you are the predator, your sly actions have catapulted a life into turmoil, and you must ask yourself if that move was even yours to make. If you are feeling guilty about something, try and approach the situation. See if you can resolve it on better terms, so you may clear your mind. Okay. So I guess I don't know what else is still needing to be settled now that you've moved. Um, whether that's setting up, I don't know, insurance, phone, if that changed or whatever. Um, I don't know if you're still figuring out a work situation. I'm guessing you figured that out as part of the move, or that helped initiate it. So, yeah. And then what else would there be as far as stuff that could be thought out? Maybe church. I don't know if religion is a thing for you. Um, if you're starting a family, um, it might be figuring that out, laying the foundation later on. Okay. And then, well, Three of Birds we just read. Um, yeah. Well, let me see. Tasha, do you have any questions? I don't think we really dug into the Three of Birds, but it's also not as big of a hit from what I can tell. So I don't know if it needs warning, especially with this interpretation where it could be you accidentally hurting someone else, throwing them down. So I'll go ahead and clean these up because we've seen them enough. Are you asking about like specific messages? Because I mean, I could do a simple yes no, somebody's reaching out. If you're wanting to check for messages, I'd like to read for Locke and Omama and then come back to it if we've still got time, if that's all right. Okay. Let me go ahead and do Locke and Omama. And then we can do the spirits checking on that. So let's find Locke. And this was on Career Guides. No problem. Okay. Yeah, the hard thing here, yeah, it's going to be Prisma, is that it's hard for me to sense a specific occupation. So you'll definitely need to connect some of the dots, but we'll see what we get from the cards first. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that one's good. Or was just good. Let me check. We might just have the two. And I'll try to stick them on screen. Okay, so this is gonna put us in the ballpark, and then this is gonna help clarify, narrow it down a bit. The moon, interesting, and then Six of Wands. So the moon deals with illusions, deception, in a sense. Um, I mean, classic magic acts, as we know, would fit into that category. But then Six of Wands, I mean, that's a very restful card, which is interesting. It's peaceful in a sense. I guess it's more about the rest. You get a moment of reflection before moving on to the next thing. So yeah, I mean, we talked about magician acts. I don't know, really. I guess where you mentioned entertainer, like anything where you're putting on an act would probably fit into that category, whether that's acting itself or like being a clown for kids' birthdays. Like, you've got a broad range there, or Santa's for Christmas. um, let me read the Six of Wands, see if something stands out about that that will help narrow it down. Or maybe you have a good idea of what in that area is going to fit. Okay, so this one has a slightly different one. Small victory, self-confidence, appreciation. Fighting for your vision can be a worthy but exhausting endeavor. If you don't take the time to appreciate how far you've come, you may very well burn out before you reach the final culmination of your vision. As you inexorably float toward the next set of difficulties, pause in the present moment and take in all the beauty around you. You have accomplished much, and you have been granted a brief view of the Elysium that awaits you at the end of your journey. So, yeah. So, appreciation for life, maybe? Or what? For the good things in life. So, yeah, that might be less of a magician. I mean, for me, mad scientist is coming to mind. The birthday party sort of mad scientist, but yeah. Well, let me know if you've got more questions, but we've exhausted what I can help you with on that. And you've probably got a much better idea of what that's pointing towards. And I'll shuffle those. Let me find. Okay. Is this love in general, or do you have a specific person? Okay. You're welcome. So I guess I mean, I can just try to read with that information, but do you have a specific person in mind, or is this love in general? And I can just try to figure it out based off of the cards and what they seem to be fit for, but that can help. Somewhere here. Oh, don't want to lose all my cards. There was that as well. Do we have another there? Not there. That might be it. Relatively short readings. Or, well, short number of cards, I should say. Is that it? Okay. So this is a person. This seems to be outcome. It's kind of weak, but that's probably just due to the nature of agency. So a probable outcome, not necessarily in stone. So our person, Wheel of Fortune, and outcome, the Devil. Great. Well, not great. Wheel of Fortune is dealing with change, cycles. I mean, it's also considered an auspicious card, lucky card. But there's also that come and go aspect to it. So might be a great guy for a good while. But that's also going to end. Outcome. I mean, this would normally be addiction, to put it concisely. Yeah, and there's any number of ways that could play that, whether or not you're stuck on him, whether or not it's physical and then you can't let go of that, whether or not it just breaks you when he leaves and you go to turn to alcohol or something, or maybe he introduces you to drugs and you get hooked. Like, there's any number of ways that could play out. So I guess now that you're aware of that, try to be smart about it. Don't let it drag you down too much. And I mean, you'll enjoy it, initially at least. But yeah, that's going to be a sour aftertaste, and hopefully not for a long while. Okay. Tasha Spirits. Okay. Messages more so. Let's see. What deck is this going to be? Yeah, that's going to be Cosma. So the deck we used earlier for you. No problem. Okay. Messages. Okay. Yeah, so these are two different spirits. Not really sure about this one, but this feels like an older male. Is sort of the sense I got from that one. I mean, and it's interesting because like there's a maturity with that one, but they're not slow or anything like that. So, okay. Well, if you know, that's great. We got 10 of birds from the first, 6 of birds from the second. You've got a lot of swords today. So these would normally be 10 of swords, 6 of swords. 10 of swords refers to an end. So I don't know if you've been... Gosh, let me look at the right side of the book. And welcome, Daniel. But yeah, I don't know if you've had questions you've been hoping to get answered by them. So yeah, 10 of birds, difficult ending, betrayal, deception. Yeah, for some reason, the part standing out is it often speaks of betrayal, deception, and something being wrongfully terminated. That's what I'm getting from the 10 of birds. As far as the 6 of birds, out of control, leaving behind, moving on. Those are the notes on that. Let me see if anything in particular. Really just the first line. The wind plays no helping hand in this card. Rather, it is the reaper for the pilot. So, seems like the second part of karma. Yeah, Daniel, go ahead and ask your question. I'll finish with Tasha first. But yeah, this isn't, this would be you reap what you sow, but the emphasis would be on the reaping part. You've already sown, is the sense we're getting from that. As far as this, I'm not exactly sure what event that's speaking to, but I think you can probably connect the dot to what that is. So, any questions, Tasha? I know I don't have a lot of specifics in this case, but yeah. Okay. Want to make sure we're good first. Daniel, go ahead and ask your question. I'm just going to shuffle this and get ready. Thanks. Okay. And then I'll pick the deck once you've got your question. And I guess until then, I'll do... Okay, there we go. What are Lorraine's feelings for me, and is there potential of a relationship? Okay. Destiny, all right. Yeah, okay. So feelings and sort of outcome, I guess. Okay. And we'll see if we get it all together. I might just have to do a follow-up read for outcome. But yeah, we'll just see what they give us. It's not quite right. Okay, that's the one we want. And then the one down here. Yep, okay. We just got nothing in there, so let's set that aside. I'll just set it there for now. I'll organize it later. Okay, but do we have more cards? I think that might be it. So these are cards. Okay, and what is what? Okay, outcome. feelings towards you. That and them, so that's okay. And let me. Okay. Oh, I haven't been sharing. My bad. It's just hard for me to see that. If you can't see the cards, just let me know. But I think we're mostly in view. So, Lorraine, some insight into her character, her as a person, feelings towards you. It seems a bit muddied. Excuse me, bless me. By this, I don't know exactly what this is. This could be just something else that has their attention. I mean, sometimes this sort of stuff is a person, but it doesn't necessarily feel like that. Slightly at best. And then outcome, the potential you were asking about. So, Eight of Cups. So that's departure and change. We got Temperance, healing, guidance, feelings. We got Five of Swords, conflict, upheaval. So that's fun, I guess. Outcome, Knight of Swords. And the notes there are stress and truth. So it's not necessarily bad. It's a double-edged sword, though. We can get into that. We've got a digital guide, so we can show and go through that. They're working through some stuff. That's what this is getting at. So that's really what's happening with the Temperance, is they need to take some time for themselves, and that's detracting from what they can really spend on you. Let's go ahead and read the guide for the Five of Swords, and then we can double check Knight of Swords. That is, yeah, just want to make sure. Yeah, and we'll get to it. Let's do the Five of Swords first for feelings towards you. Represents battle and loss, conflict and contradiction. Perhaps you are unsure whether you must go through with the situation. As these thoughts persist, you must realize that you must not give up. Sorry, I need some water. There are conflicts that must be resolved. Think about what you are fighting for and pick your battles. This card shows up when you must think before you act. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is retreat when the battle is over, rather than fighting a war that cannot be won. So yeah. And this is probably more so stemming from the Eight of Cups and the healing that they need to go through. It's really a mixed bag of feelings, and we're not sure what to make of it right now. Let's go to the Knight of Swords. This is the one we are probably most interested in. Classic knight in shining armor, ready to defend the honor of another. This card shows up when a decision must be made, and there's a quick change in life situations. Perhaps there are unpredictable times ahead. Sudden truths may reveal themselves. Underlying conflicts may be illuminated. There may be a dispute at work or in a family dynamic. You may not be the cause for these circumstances, but the way you recover is what matters. The energy of this card is driven and assertive. You may be fighting for what you believe in, but it is important to take responsibility for your actions. Ultimately, you are the one who will deal with the outcome. Fight wisely. So, the knight in shining armor, not so much in the victor and conquering sense, though that is a part of it. Part of it is the honor bound, and how sometimes that can restrict you, sometimes to the point of choking, but it can also give you power, firm grounds upon which to act. That's the imagery, at least, that it's playing with. So, moving forward, if you guys were to get in a relationship, stuff like that, I mean, there would be good parts, yeah. There would be good parts, but there's also going to be clashes and conflicts. So it's good and bad there. So to recap on those important things, Five of Swords, the feelings towards you, it's really a mixed bag right now. Not sure what to make of it, and really she needs to work through some other stuff first. As far as potential, there is potential. There's going to be clashes with that. That doesn't mean it's wrong, but it could be difficult. So as long as you're prepared for that, as best you can be prepared for that, well, it might be worth it. So does that clarify, Daniel? Okay. I want to make sure we got that. Okay. I'll go ahead and clean up a bit. Oh. And we'll just pop this in case anybody else is waiting to ask. And we'll shuffle. Okay. So yeah, if you've got questions, go ahead and comment. You can do a few more readings. But we are getting later on, so if there's not demand, we can go ahead and call it good as well. We'll just wait a little bit to give people time. And I guess we can, let me go ahead and update the schedule caption, because, well, we're not going to have Mondays anymore. So, and if we do, it'll be different. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and pop that, because we can talk about that. Oh, did it disappear? It decided to disappear. So, oh, there it is. Oh, that's unfortunate. I just didn't want to do it. Well, let's try again. Maybe this is related to why I can't see on my screen what you guys are seeing. Yeah, I think we might be having technical issues on this side. Let me just make a new one. Yeah. We're just striking out there. Okay. So I guess I'll just recap on the schedule. Got a job. So the Monday sessions are just smack in the middle of a work day for me. So that's going to be off the table. So we're going to have, well, this session on Wednesdays for roughly 2 hours. We've also got the Friday morning session, and we're going to have to keep that to an hour or less, just because I do still need to go to work those days. For Monday, since we're getting rid of that, I'm thinking of just doing a post and then following up with anybody who responds within a certain time. If you guys think of other ideas, let me know. Don't want to just have it out for a whole day, though, and have to respond to maybe 20 people, because it's not like I have more time now that I'm working. So, and I think we'll go ahead and close. So this should already be in the description, but if you want, it's a link tree. We've got social media, not that I post much. You're already watching the stream. There's also a PayPal if you want to donate. So yeah, that's all the big stuff. Hey, Novella. Doing well. How are you? Excellent. Free reading, so if you want, go ahead and ask questions. We're about to, as people had their answers. But if you want to come, we've still got some time. Sure. Destiny deck. Yeah, I'm just wondering if this is going to come out as a yes, no, or if we're going to get something like how strongly it matches. Because, I mean, you might not have the same feelings. You might have more or less or none. But, yeah, we'll see. Go ahead. You know how to fall together. That's good enough, though. Okay. Let's find the cards and then we'll figure out what they mean. Oh, that's convenient. Have a card here. Or do we have all the cards? Hey, Rainbow. How's it going? Let's see. Moderately tempered. That's not what we've got. Okay. Yeah. So, strength of feelings towards you. This is modified by the second card. So, that's what we're going to be getting at. So, Ace of Cups. I mean, that's a very strong, very strong for start of relationships, positive feelings. It's a well overflowing, cup overflowing. But then we've got this modified by the Ten of Swords, which is endings, change. Those are the notes on it. It usually deals with some sort of end. So I don't know if there's some sort of change in life circumstances coming. Like, I mean, the scenario that comes to mind is like high school lovers, but after graduation, you guys just don't see each other anymore. So, um, we've got that sort of thing going on from what I can tell. That there are strong feelings, but we're expecting them to not go anywhere and end. So, yeah. I mean, if you want something to happen, I'd probably take the initiative, make the first move, because otherwise, I think this is just um, you guys are going to end up going separate ways. Otherwise, that's what they're anticipating. So, yeah. Hopefully that helps. Don't know that it makes it any easier for you. That's what we. And then Rainbow. If you've got a question, go ahead and ask. No problem. Right. For some reason or other, they just don't see it working out. And I gave you the scenario that first came to my mind. I don't know what's more appropriate for your guys' situation, but yeah. And it's not that it doesn't go anywhere. It's something else ends it. Sorry about that. Or just doesn't make it feasible. So, like, left alone, a seed would be fine, but if winter comes, that will kill it. It's sort of that anticipation. And I don't know how real that is versus imagined. Yeah. Does that help make sense? Well, if it doesn't, go ahead and ask for clarity. Try to point out what the confusion is. um, so that's very straightforward for you, I guess. Um, and I don't know if this is your situation, but as an example, say you're an attractive woman, and he thinks of himself as just okay or mediocre. Yeah, maybe something could happen for a while if he made a move. But if he anticipates getting knocked to the side when something better comes along, um, that puts a real damper on even trying. Does that make sense? Um, yeah, that's definitely one way. I mean, in the case like earlier, uh, yeah, like in the earlier case of like the high school where graduation, you guys go separate ways. You're just literally in different parts of the world. Um, there's just a logistical thing in the way there that they don't have a real way of overcoming. Potentially. I mean, it could just be an accept, like with that in different parts of the world. If they know long distance just isn't going to work, that's more of a fact for them. Some people can make that work, but most can't. So, just as an example, um, you've got a better feel for your situation, of course, since you know it a lot better. Maybe it is more just self sabotage. Sure. We'll highlight that. Same deck in this case. That's essentially what they did. It's technically a scarf, I think, but I use it to put my cards on. Yes, I'm married, so I'm definitely in a relationship. Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to come back to that. Gosh, 3.5, 4 months. Let's see. It was end of June, so 4.5. So not too long. Thanks. Why am I not getting something clear? Yeah, we don't necessarily believe in soulmates, but yeah, it'd be along those lines. I don't know if that's actually an answer to your question, though. I guess. Are there more cards? Yeah. But it doesn't feel like we're answering your question anymore. Okay, was that it? Okay. Technically equals though. Okay. Nice. Going strong. Good for them. Okay, so this doesn't feel like an answer to your question. So it's going to be more of an answer. Yeah, can't quite tell if it's direction or just feedback on why it's not relevant. So, oh, nice. He had it easy. Sort of, I guess. This card has more weight than the other, but both are relevant to whatever it's trying to say. Death and the Tower. Okay. So, I mean, these are speaking to change. Pretty drastic change. And it's not very comfortable. I mean, with death, you can sometimes refer to this as a metamorphosis where you really become a different person because of whatever the process is. With the Tower, I mean, the notes here are revelation and destruction. Usually, this is the scary one to be getting because stuff falls apart in a sense. Something you're relying on just gives out because it wasn't a sound foundation. So, yeah. Yeah. I mean, the nice part of the tower is that you get reconciled to reality, get reconciled with the truth, even if it hits hard. And again, that one had a lighter feel. So I don't know that it's going to be devastation. Um, it's not going to be that sort of terror and anguish and whatnot. I guess you can still have a lot of English, but you get the gist. The big thing here is you're going to change. um, it'll be for the better in the end, but yeah, yeah. You haven't mastered it yet? Well, and in this case, I mean, the tower was the lesser part here. Like, these are both relevant to what's coming, um, but this had the heavier part. There's going to be some of this, but for you, it's going to be more like an old tune being played again. You're familiar with it. Um, it's not quite on the scale as it could happen. So silver lining there, I guess. But um, yeah, the big thing is the transformation that's coming from the death card. So and yeah, that's going to blow your question about love in the short term out of the water. So well, you try to climb back up the easy way, I'm guessing. You learn stuff each time, but yeah. Yeah. Don't know what to tell you about that, but yeah. It is what it is. No problem. I guess good luck. Now that you've got the heads up, maybe it'll be easier to work through, but yeah. Hope it pans out. And sooner rather than later. Okay. I think we're gonna call that a day. So well, yeah. Yeah. I was just wondering, is it better that it wasn't the answer to short term? I don't know. Death and the Tower? Um, Comboed like that? Probably not. Um, yeah. Not in that sort of sync, not in that sort of tandem. They've probably been in the same spread because I've had a handful of large spreads that have a number of cards, but yeah, not so on point together like that. don't fret too much about it. Don't want you self-destructing as part of the process. You'll get through it, just like all the other times. You're not going to get through unscathed, but you'll get through it. Okay. Yeah, just a reminder that the schedule is changed. We're dropping Mondays. Fridays will have to be short. Yeah, we'll see about doing some sort of post. Not sure how I feel about it. And I would have to set that up for Mondays. But yeah, hope you guys are doing well, having a good week. And until next time, take care.